Okay, I'm recording.
Yay, we're recording. That's exciting.
And we're back.
Whoa, that was fast. That was you just jumped right into that.
Well, I mean, what else?
You give me a second to prepare.
What were you gonna prepare?
I always like to have a little bit of pre-roll when I record.
Do you have a written statement?
I usually take like a minute, and then I ask, "Oh, are you ready?" And then you say ready, and then we go, "Okay." And then we're like
well, I already asked if you're ready, so then I hit record, and we're back.
We're back. Thank God.
It's been so long.
It's been a while. It's been a long time.
So our story is that Weird Mageddon happened once we finished Gravity Falls.
Yeah, the real Weird Mageddon was like, hey folks, how's it going? It's time now. I've decided that to unleash Weird Mageddon. And then it happened. And
it did happen. Yeah, so then because you work at a home for the old folks.
I work with the elderly for a living.
You work with the elderly for a living,
yes.
And I think is it that you get some people got?
Well, I mean, like, I don't think I can publicly discuss, but there were cases. Okay. There were cases, okay. Yes. But not that I didn't have any contact with those folks. But I mean, like, it was definitely a very real thing.
But you were terrified, and so you.
I was healthfully and reasonably concerned.
Yes. So you went to social distance.
Yes, I did want to social distance.
And then my life kind of had some weird changes of like job switching and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then also you were moving.
I straight up moved during a pandemic. It was a lot. Don't do it. Although the housing market is great right now and it won't stay great for long. So if you're going to buy or sell a house, do it right now. Go right now.
But don't move.
But don't move. It was very stressful.
So you were dealing with that, and then I had some job switching, and then we tried to do a live stream,
and then it
separately,
and then it didn't work.
I feel like we probably could have recorded stuff, but it would have been harder to like record like reactions to stuff,
yeah,
because of like not having everything. Mm-hmm. So it was easier for it togetay. So when we did the live stream, it just didn't work.
Yeah,
all the tech issues.
There was a lot of tech issues. I tried so hard. I blame my internet because I had backwoods internet.
But now you don't.
No, I don't. Now I have like real city folk. I don't live in a city, but I live in a place with like slightly more like populace.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that. Like it was probably the drive was like 10 minutes shorter. That's exciting. Good. That's exciting. Over here. Yes, now my commute to my job is a little shorter. It's still really long, but it's pretty shorter. So I can't complain though because I live with so yes.
That's how that works, and it's okay that if you still live, like I still live with my mom, and it's okay because we're trying to be creatives, and it's hard to make money that way.
It is hard, and even though
and support yourself,
yeah, but at least we're like otherwise employed, which is difficult for a lot of people during these times.
Yeah.
So it ended up working out for us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working on my own issues of trying to like deal with like working where I am and like trying to like find a way to do this and be independent and like working on myself in order to like put stuff out there.
Yeah.
But that's my own psychological issues and personal issues that I'm dealing with in therapy that I don't know if I want to fully get into right this second.
That's okay.
We can talk about other stuff, but the point is,
we'll use it.
We feel like it's been a good amount of time and everything's basically settled so we can be together and make content.
We're not going to touch, though. We haven't touched yet.
We haven't, which is funny because I think I was like going to do a gag where I just hugged you, but then I forgot.
That's okay.
At this point, I would feel comfortable. I know like you're not a big hugger. I would feel comfortable hugging you just because like you're at a point, like, I feel like with, like, certain people who I have hugged, because, like, I know that they have been distanced from people for long enough where...
I've been trying my damnedest to stay distant, even though I do go into work every day, and I have been at a couple family functions because, well, I'm not going to shade people I know right now, but some people like to still have functions right now, and personally, like, I wouldn't, like, recommend it. I would still like keep your gatherings at a minimum. Like we're just a 2-person gathering right now. I think that's acceptable. Like,
yeah, we're not 6 feet. We're like
no, we're probably like I don't know, like good like 3.5, 4 feet apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably like even this is like stretching it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But Like, don't go to parties and don't go to bars packed with people. I think that's, like, a reasonable thing.
Or, like, do something outside.
Do something outside.
I'm about to say, exactly. Like, we know we've been safe.
Yeah.
So,
we're trying our best.
Yes. Just two weirdos trying their best.
That should be the subtitle to our channel. Just two weirdos trying their best.
That should be.
Trying to make it by in this crazy, crazy world. We never actually, like, introduced ourselves for, like, 10 minutes.
Well, I'm assuming that the subscribers that we grew knew who we are.
Yeah, well, it's funny because we're recording this after we recorded our next series of episodes, but I think we're going to put this out before.
Yeah, just to, like, say, episodes. Like, we're back, like, welcome back. I'm Dara.
I'm Cailin.
And we are First Reaction Fan Reaction, or WittyClothes Productions. Yeah.
Yay.
You
guys know who we are. If you're watching this, you're probably like, I know those weirdos anywhere. And you're probably like, hey, where's the content? And I can assure you, it's coming. We're working on it.
Yeah, I have the power back. I'm watching one of my favorite shows, Pushing Daisies. Yeah. I don't know how many people actually watched, but we'll see.
Now's your opportunity to watch it.
Now's your opportunity to watch it, and you can start with the pilot, because that after this goes out, the next one will be, we finished recording about, like, 4 episodes worth.
Yeah.
So...
And then we'll record more, because hopefully we can do that again, because things are settling down a little bit, like, in relative terms, as far as, like, at least all my stuff isn't in boxes. Only half of my stuff is in boxes now. And the pandemic is still happening. Like, it's still definitely most certainly a thing. Mm-hmm. But, like, we're managing.
Yeah.
We're managing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying. I don't know what else to say to that besides... We're just doing our best.
It's such a weird time.
It is a very strange time to be alive right now. 2020 has been full of some weird stuff.
Remember when 2020 was supposed to be the good year?
Well, remember when 2019 kind of sucked ass?
Yes.
And then we were like, God, I can't wait for 2020. That's going to not suck ass. It has proceeded to continue being... But although, like, 2020 is, like weird bad. Like, 2020 is, like, weird bad. Like, 2019 was just, like...
Bad.
Was just, like, real life bad. Now we're in just, like, a real, very surreal kind of bad.
Well, I was saying, like, 2020...
I'm not sure which I'd rather have.
2020 was supposed to be a good year, because I remember that Halloween's on a Saturday.
Yes.
And what else? Christmas Day is on a Friday.
Yeah.
And so that means that New Year's Day is on a Friday. So then, like, that's like a nice...
Oh, extended weekend.
See?
Yes.
Does that matter now?
That's really nice, especially because my work doesn't... you don't get off, like, extra time. You get off just, like, Christmas Day, and that's it. Because I definitely worked Christmas Eve for the past, like, 3 years. Although I can't complain because I haven't had to work on holidays, and many people have to. So, like, if you have to work on holidays, like, Godspeed.
I think I've had to work a few, like, Christmas Eves, but I could usually get out by, like, because, like, my family, we don't do anything till, like, dinner.
Yeah.
So it's like, as long as I get out by then, I don't care.
Right. So, yeah. But yeah, 2020 was supposed to be a good year. But it's actually just turned out to be just, like... the year in which we solidified our place in the worst timeline. Like, I think we've been in the worst timeline for about 5 years now. I think 2015 is when we started, like, steering ourselves towards the bad timeline. But here's where we really solidified and, like, nested ourselves into the place of the worst possible timeline.
So what's the good timeline? I guess, like, now...
good timeline is...
I guess, like, either no pandemic or, like, we figured we, like, actually took care of this.
Yeah. If there was a pandemic, there was swift and responsible action. There was, I'm not going to get political here, but in the good timeline, we're taking steps to combat climate change. We're, like, working towards renewable energy. It's great.
Not dandelions.
It's not dandelions. You'll figure out what that means later. And so we're doing that. I feel like we're doing more, we have more subscribers in the good timeline.
We actually make money off of this, and we don't have to.
More money, yeah.
Either we don't have to do this, we can do this full time and not have to worry about other jobs, or, like, we can do this for mostly full time and, like, do a couple Instacart things on the side in order to make sure that we pay rent.
That would be great. It's great. The world isn't completely falling apart in the good timeline.
But I will say, if you want to get us some good informed timeline of a good timeline, Patreon. Please and thank you.
Thank you. So yes, but anyway, so let's not focus on the timeline that we're not in, but let's talk about the timeline that we're in, because we're here.
We are here.
We can't get out of it. I don't know anyone who has a wormhole generator yet that I could use to possibly, rip through the fabric of time and jump somewhere else.
Well, like I said, I have recently finished The Umbrella Academy.
Oh, so you're a little bit familiar with that. I have not watched season 2 yet, which is funny because I watched season 1.
It's funny, right after it came out. I had no interest in really watching the show. I don't know why it just wasn't. I don't know, for some reason, superhero TV shows just aren't my thing.
Yeah.
And then I said I watched this a video about Vanya by Amanda the Jedi, who I mentioned, who you should probably watch because I'm pretty sure you guys are either not identical twins separated at birth, but you're fairly similar.
Are we like soul sisters?
I just know you guys dress the same in a good way.
Nice.
But she basically was saying how, and I got spoiled in season 1 because of that video, but whatever, about how they did the Dark Phoenix story right with Vanya, which
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of?
Okay. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Compared to the Dark Phoenix movies.
Let's not go there. Anyway, then
I think it was probably a few days before season 2 was premiering.
Right.
I decided to finally watch it. And then I thought you hadn't watched it.
No, but
so
I did. I watched that right after it came out.
So I wasn't venting to you about it, I was venting to somebody else. And then I realized that you did watch it. And then I'm like, why was I venting to you when I was near the end of season 1? And now I'm ahead of you because I've already finished season 2.
I know, but in my defense,
you were moving.
I was busy and I was
it's good. Busy. And I wrote a whole essay about that and season 2 stuff.
Yeah.
Because I have an argument that shows should have 2 seasons, and I think The Umbrella Academy is a good example of that. That I will hopefully either publish in a blog thing or make a video with a script, or both, because I realized when I was making videos, it was very rambly, and I didn't like it because I didn't have a script. So I'm like, why don't I try it with a script?
Sometimes you just need a script.
I feel it's easier with you when I'm just when you're talking.
Yeah. It's
easier, but
yeah, with us, we have the advantage of we bounce off each other. So, we just are bang, bang.
Because, I just kind of realized, if I, what makes me happy is, when I'm writing stuff or making content, it makes me, I'm working on it. I'm trying to write stuff. I'm making stuff. Cailin's helping me a bit because I'm not good at formatting. And I was just kind of just let me just, write out what I'm feeling.
I know a grammar thing or two. Also,
You're a good writer. You're on Wattpad.
Anybody can be on Wattpad, but I am... No,
we'll get to that.
I'm not popular on there, but I'm I got a reasonable following. I did you can follow me if you want.
You just if
you want my @ no, it's at DreamerCail, DreamerCail. If you're into that sort of thing, I'm not gonna lie.
You write good stuff.
I'm not a terrible writer.
You write good stuff.
Thank you.
I've read one of your scripts. And it was good.
Thank you. And it's funny, I looked back at that recently and I was like, oh, yikes. So I'm excited for you to actually read something that I think is good.
I like the premise of that a lot, but that's the thing.
Thank you.
It was clever.
One day I think I'll go back to that. And maybe one day that people will read it and not misinterpret what I was trying to do with it. Anyway, that's #artist problems. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Enough about my writing. But
yeah, so I basically, because I think my therapist suggested that I just free write instead of because every time I will write something, I'll figure out the problems and then I will not stop writing because I'm so upset with myself.
You just gotta do it.
So even writing this, I really was realizing this is way too long, but I kept going because I'm let me get my thoughts out.
Yeah, but
and it was 4 pages.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good at not thinking about problems till after. I think mostly because most of my writing experience comes from NaNoWriMo, which is literally just just write until you die, and then edit it. And I'm cool. So that's what I do.
That's still going on, right? Because you don't need to be around people for that, right?
Exactly. NaNoWriMo is eternal. But yeah, they did Camp Nano, which is in April, I think so people participate throughout the year. I just do the one in November. That's all I can handle because that's a lot for me to do. So I do it once a year, but I've done it. This year, if I do it, it'll be my 11th year. It's crazy. Don't do it. It's 50,000 words in 30 days, 1,667 words per day. That's a lot. It's torture. I love it, but it's torture.
It's self-inflicted torture.
It is self-inflicted torture, and I have no one to blame but myself. But I have a good time. Anyway, so that's a little bit about that. But yeah, so no, I haven't. That's Umbrella Academy, and the last 2 seasons of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power are the 2 at the top of my to-watch list that I haven't gotten around to, that I like desperately need to watch because they came out so long ago. But like,
well, Umbrella Academy season 2 like came out like a couple weeks ago. So like,
yeah, that one is bad. But the last 2 seasons of She-Ra, like those have been around enough that I need to like.
I'd say that, like, season 2 of the Umbrella Academy is really good. And, like, we were talking about, because I realized it's also with Parks and Rec, that, like, we can't actually do that show because we've both seen it.
We have both seen Parks and Rec.
So we might end up, like, maybe at some point creating just, like, a television recap show where you just, like, talk about something.
Yeah, like, do, like, a smaller kind of thing, or, like, a different style than what we do, maybe.
Yeah. We also have dreams of doing, like, watching a bunch of, like, TV movies, mainly, like, Lifetime, because...
Yes.
Lifetime is magical.
That's a word for it.
So there's a bunch. I'd say TV movies are magical in general, like Lifetime and Hallmark movies and Disney Channel.
Good times.
And like I guess HBO, but they're like I guess like good movies.
Yeah, they're like actually like
they're like
real.
Yeah. What other channel? I guess like Wonderful World of Disney, like in the 90s, had like TV movies.
Whoa, that's going back.
That's like 90s.
The 90s. That was a time.
Remember when?
I was born then, in the 90s.
Yes.
That's a while ago.
Yes, you were.
I emerged from the womb. Anyway, so, but, yeah. So, that was good.
Trying to think about
times.
What else is there?
Yeah, what else have you watched a lot of other things? Because I haven't. Like, you'd be like, Cailin, like, the whole world was literally under quarantine for 5 months. What were you doing? And I can tell you, it wasn't watching things.
I ended up, like,
disappointing.
I mean, I finished a bunch of, like, I finished The Office and Parks and Rec and Community, which definitely we're doing Community soon, because it's so good. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Wattpad, I watched 365 Days.
Oh, yeah, which isn't a Wattpad book, but the translation of it is on Wattpad.
So we can talk about it.
So, yeah, so I have, which, like, I found, because it's originally Italian, correct?
Polish.
Italian or Polish. Polish, there's an Italian character. Yeah, so there is fan translations out there, which I, like, started reading, and I was like, what is this? What is this?
Especially because, like, I said, I'm going to watch this terrible movie, which I've heard is terrible.
Yeah. That's
really popular on Netflix. And then I'm going to, like, message Cailin while I'm watching it, trying to explain this to her.
It was a ride.
I had to watch it.
Yeah, it was a ride to, like, read what you wrote and then try to imagine this. It was a lot.
Especially because, like, it's a rip-off of 50 Shades.
Yeah.
And it's somehow worse.
Amazing.
Because there's, like, actual Stockholm Syndrome and actual kidnapping.
Yeah, right? It's, like, and also it's, like, isn't it part of, like, the mafia genre, which is, like, very popular in romance
There's
now,
not really
right
much I mean, the guy's mafia?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like, what's his name? Like, Massimo, I think.
It's so funny, because, like, I'm not, like, you'd be like, oh, Cailin, you're a Wattpad writer. You must be, like, really into romance. I'm, like, not, like, super, like, into, like, traditional, like, romance. So, like, a lot of the genre, like, like, I'm not super into, like, the bad boy romance or, like, the mafia or, like, the billionaire. Like, those are all things that I'm, like, that's fine. But I'm not gonna, like, engage.
Well, I think it's funny, because, like, you sent me, like, a post from, like, one of the, like, comments from, like, a section.
Oh.
And it was, like, this thing where, like, he's, like, up to her and he's, like, are you lost, little girl?
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, it's so romantic. And I'm just like...
people were commenting, like, oh, my God, this is, like, so romantic. I was like...
In the movie, it's so creepy, because they're, like, so, like, not social distancing. They're, like, this. Mm-hmm. But he's behind her.
Yeah.
And they're, like, this. And he just says it. And she's creeped out, as she should be.
Can I go, like, on a minor tangent here? Do you watch, like, movies now, and then when you see, like, giant crowd scenes or, like, people, like, really close to each other, do you get, like, anxious? Because I get anxious now.
No.
If I watch TV or movies, and now I'm looking at, like, giant crowd scenes or, like, people, like, doing things that, like, you can't do right now, like, I get anxious, and I don't know why, and I think that's a problem.
If you remember that, like, they filmed it before this.
Yeah.
So, like, nobody knew.
It's, like, more like my knee-jerk, like, reflexive thing. I'm like, oh, wait, no, we're good.
Yeah. So I think it's just thing of, like, remembering.
That's bad.
Yeah. Although I think Zendaya and, what's his name? Denzel Washington's son that I don't remember his name.
Oh, that guy.
They just filmed a movie, but, like, in quarantine with, I think, the director of Euphoria, or the creator.
Okay, yeah.
And they, like, had all these I think, like, they had to go to the set, and they were all, like, quarantined for 2 weeks, and, like, setting up, they did, like, temperature checks and, like, testing.
Yeah. temp checks. That's fun. Also, that's also very anxiety inducing because I had to do temp checks on the way to work. And I had the heat on in my car one day, and they're like, and I was like, and they're like, oh, the heat's on your car, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, they're like, yeah, don't do that.
I guess
that was really stressful. But also I'm just like full of anxiety constantly. So like that's my life.
So anyway, in 365 Days, they're like this close when he said that, and then like she gets kidnapped, but it's like and like all of the music's like really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Cause just like always like weird like pop music that apparently the guy who plays the actor wrote or like it sings, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, cool. That's exciting. That's fun. I'm having a good time. Anyway, go on.
I just feel like it's one scene that's also weird, like when she gets kidnapped, because like she's on the beach and she like basically says, "I'm gonna go for a walk," and like her like bathing suit like a cover. But then the next shot, it's nighttime and she's walking around the city lost, and I'm like,
"What are you doing?"
And then that's when she gets kidnapped. Like the whole thing of like his like her like pictures in his house.
Yeah.
And because like he saw her 5 years ago when his dad got shot and he got shot, and that's why he needed to see her, because it was like the last image that he saw before he maybe died. And then came back to life.
Weird. That's an interesting story.
And there's also a thing of like he says like, "I'm not gonna touch you until you fall in love with me." But what he meant was, "I'm not gonna have sex with you," because he touches her a lot.
Oh,
like literally like the first like scene where she's like trying to like fight him because like she doesn't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, because she got kidnapped.
And, like literally he just like grabs her and like you know like that's, I don't know if it's like a sexy thing. Where, like, you see somebody and it's, like, a tense thing of, like, the guy's, like, kind of grabbing her by his neck, but then also, like, going, like, that happens. And I'm like, what about the not touchy thing?
Ooh.
And also they have a thing of, like, where they say she has a heart condition and it doesn't come up in the end. I'm like, that's how it's going to end. Like, her heart condition is going to come out and she's going to die.
Right.
But that doesn't happen.
Okay, but, man, I love.
You love this so much.
I'm having, this is so
I like
awesome.
one bit where he, like, touched her, like, down there, but, like, over the pants, and I'm like, that still counts, and you said you weren't going to.
That absolutely counts. That absolutely counts. Absolutely. Counts, absolutely.
I think, like, she's just trying to, like, mess with him for a bit, for, like, a year, because, like, the rule is, like, if she doesn't fall in love with him within a year, he says she can just leave. I hope that means that she can just leave.
This is just, like... This is if somebody took Beauty and the Beast and then took all of, like, the charm out of it. It's like, you cannot leave the castle. That's not what he sounds like.
They are in a castle.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I do kind of, there was, like, this bit where they're having dinner and, like, I think she's, like, trying to figure out, like, what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then, I forget the line, but I think it's, like, he says, like, "I want you to change me and make me a better person." And I'm like, why is that her job?
It's not her job.
But then it's okay because then she falls off of a boat and then he saves her and then they fall in love.
And then they do it.
They do it a lot. That's like, I think people are saying like this was better than 50 Shades. It's better that there's like actual like sex scenes.
Yeah, right.
And I guess like one positive is like, I don't remember seeing like a female breast, but there's a lot of naked like men. Like, you don't see any penis, but, like, I think I saw more of his body than hers.
Oh, interesting.
So, A+?
Yeah, that's a word you could use to describe that. I have to, like, watch it. I, like, don't want to watch it, but I do kind of want to watch it. I'm scared. We should watch it together.
Well, the next time I come over, like, hang out.
Oh, yeah.
We can watch it.
Because you have to see my new place.
I do. And also... I think what was another thing in this movie? Oh, it takes, like, the kidnapping to, like, falling in love takes place in, like, 2 months.
It's not as bad as 50 Shades, which I think the whole, like, saga takes place in, like, 3 weeks.
I guess, yeah. But I think I forget who, but I think somebody pointed this out that I found interesting of, like, at least, like, with Bella and Anastasia, to an extent, you could maybe understand, like, why they would fall for somebody dominant.
Right.
Because they're very, like,
yeah.
shy and submissive, but, like, when they... I think her name's, like, Laura. Like, they showed that she's, like, a businesswoman and she, like, doesn't take shit. So, like, how would... And then she kind of has to, like, regress.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about
Yes, that's the worst thing in this movie.
Oh, God. Okay. Whew. I'm going to mentally prepare myself.
Not the fact that it's clearly Stockholm.
Yeah.
And, like, there's at least, like, 15 montages.
That sounds like fun.
You remember, like, telling you that? I'm like, montage.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Montage.
And I think it's like, it's like slightly under 2 hours.
Nice. It's kind of like reminds me of After had a lot of montages. Remember when we watched After and we were like, how many montages are in this movie?
Oh, that's true. After was also a weird movie, but like,
yeah.
That's getting a sequel, right?
That is getting a sequel. Dylan Sprouse is in the sequel.
Ooh.
Yes.
And I already want her to hook up with him instead. I just do.
I don't know anything about this, but I think those two should get together.
Well, that's the thing. I don't like Harden.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Yeah.
Because he's annoying.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's say, what else is there to discuss
in this? Discuss that I'm...
I guess the other thing I found, like, interesting is that, like, we never talked about, like, the one good thing in 2019 was when we went to Fantastic Fest in Austin, Texas.
Yes.
That was great. We unfortunately got canceled for this year, but, like, we weren't planning on going anyway because Texas is a hot spot.
Yeah. And
I feel like Austin, I don't know if Austin is a hot spot just because, like, they're very liberal.
Right. But, like, it's also just, there's also just, like, a lot of people there. So it's probably just not, like, a great place to go right now.
But that was fun.
That was fun. That was a great time. That was a really good.
That was a good time in 2019.
That was like a little shining beacon of like light in the year that was 2019. But that was fun.
And like Cailin got to see the movie that won Best Picture at the Oscars.
That was cool. You know, I just found that one of the giveaways they did at the screening of Parasite,
which I still haven't seen.
Which is you haven't. Oh.
I don't have Hulu. I'm gonna watch it, but like still.
But it's like little like they're like these little like you know like 3D glasses, the paper ones, but it has like a black bar, so it like mimics the movie poster. And I just found that the other day, so I'm like really excited. I have to take a picture with it, but I look absolutely ridiculous, and I can't walk through doorways with it because it's like this.
And then was Bong Joon-ho in your theater when you watched it?
Yes, Bong Joon-ho was in my theater when I watched it. Very exciting. He did a Q&A after. It was great. But like that was a very cool experience.
And I remember because like for me, like the big thing was like seeing Knives Out, which was like the closing night movie, which I did get to see, and it was really good.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing for me, like not really thinking about Parasite.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, Cailin, look what you saw this like in a screener at a festival.
Yeah. Well, Knives Out. That was the premiere of Knives Out. Was that the premiere?
I don't think it was the premiere.
Okay.
I think it premiered at another festival, but like Rian Johnson's like big on Fantastic Fest. So. Yeah,
but we both got to see like really cool like films before the General Public did.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So
I think like we weren't there like on the opening day because I think the opening day was Jojo Rabbit, which I did end up seeing eventually, and that movie's really good.
I still haven't seen Jojo Rabbit.
Oh my God,
I really want to see it though.
But we saw there was like a lot of like weird movies. I saw the really weird Nicolas Cage movie that like gave me a migraine after.
Was that the
Remember that weird alien one that I told you about?
It was like was that about Love? Was that Lovecraft or Lovecraftian?
Yes, it was Lovecraft. And like I didn't really know what to expect, and then I saw a giant alpaca monster fuse together, and then I was traumatized.
Oh yeah, I missed out on that one.
You didn't though because you didn't want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to see that. Anyway.
I just remember because like I got sick afterwards. Not like vomiting sick, luckily, but like. Yeah. Like, I had, like, a really bad migraine. I think it's because, like, the night before, we were up till, like, 2 in the morning.
There was a lot we were doing.
There was a lot going on there, but it was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. I saw The Lighthouse there.
Oh, yeah, you did, because that was a secret screener.
That was a secret screener. It was The Lighthouse, which was good. Definitely not, like, like the type of film I'll usually watch, but, like, I enjoyed it for what it was. No, The Lighthouse was pretty good. Yeah, very good. Cinematography. But yeah, what else? Did I see anything else? You saw a film that's coming out soon. What was that? Swallow?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw ads for that, and I was like, Dara watched that at Fantastic Fest.
I did. I saw that. I think I saw that right after the Nicolas Cage movie, which was I think it was Color Out of Night was a Nicolas Cage movie. Uh-huh. And that was like I saw that like 11 in the morning and like we hadn't eaten much. I think we just went to Starbucks.
Yeah.
And like that movie just like messed me up because I'm just like, oh, and it was so gross. I'm just like I can't. And I thought Swallow was gonna be similar, so I was like bracing myself.
But it's a very different type of movie.
It's a very different type of movie, and like because it's about like this like woman who like realizes she really likes to just like swallow stuff. Mm-hmm. But like it actually has like a nice like empowering message for like female empowerment kind of thing. And it was like a lot of stuff you find about her life that's like fairly messed up, but it's nice. Mm-hmm. And then I think that day I also saw that Eddie Murphy Dolomite movie too. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I did not see that one. It's kind of a shame though because like some of the films that are there like don't ever get like wide releases.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know if I'll like ever see them again, but some I liked. Like I really liked what was it? Was it The True Adventures of Wolf Boy? Real Life Adventures of Wolf Boy? That one apparently has been struggling to get a wide release, but like I really liked that one. I also really liked Worm.
I keep forgetting that I saw Worm, but that was cute.
Did we watch Worm together?
We watched it at the same time, but in different theaters.
Okay, I liked Worm, and I hope that one gets like a wider release, or at least goes out on Netflix. That'd be a really good Netflix film.
Yeah, did you? I saw a couple animated stuff that like went on Netflix.
I did see a couple animated things. I saw I Lost My Body, which was nominated for Best Animated Picture that year.
Was it worth the nomination, or was it?
It was pretty good. It's a French film, so it's like a French film. I feel like I never got into French cinematography, not cinema, whatever stuff. French cinema. I never got into, so it's like it's very good, but definitely like has a very specific feel to it that like I usually don't do. And then I saw an anime one, and I'm totally forgetting the name of it. And I haven't seen that one advertised. Like,
wasn't that like the one that you saw, but from the guys that did Samurai Jack?
That I saw yes, Primal. It was like the first like 4 episodes of Primal, I think, but first 4 or 5 episodes, and I haven't watched the last one. I don't know how much of that premiered and how much didn't, but yes, the Genndy Tartakovsky Primal, that was awesome. That was really special. So that was really cool to see that. Also a wonderful theater experience because everyone in there was like pretty hyped about being there. So it was just like anytime somebody happened, it was like, it was great. I love that. I love yeah, it's the thing I missed about going to the theater. Not that I ever went a lot, but it's always like cool to go when you knew you were going to be surrounded by people who were like into it.
Yeah.
So that's why a cool thing about Fantastic Fest is that like you're supposed to be like, you're supposed to be like very respectful and quiet, so not a lot of people reacted, but like I think that was just something that like everyone was there to like have a good time basically.
Well, I know they have their like light and quiet like policy there, but I kind of wonder like if the role bends for like reacting to something in a theater.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. That was a really cool experience. Just like all of Fantastic Fest was just a really cool, different experience.
I think I saw The Death of Dick Long, which was like coming out around the time that I saw that. Mm-hmm. Which like a movie like I really wasn't thinking about seeing, and then I did, and it was like weird but like interesting because I think it was by the guys who did. Oh my god, what's the name of the movie? The one with Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe, where like they're stuck on an island.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about? And like Daniel Radcliffe's like a dead body.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I totally forget what it's called.
Me too. All right, I'll look it up because somebody has to. Swiss Army Man. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So by those people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think I told you about that. Like I think like I left the thing saying like there wasn't as much horse fucking as I thought there would be.
Make of that what you will.
That was weird, but like it was good. But then it ended with Nickelback.
Oh yeah, great. That's wonderful.
And it's like watching. It's because like basically like, it involves of like these like friends and like one of their friends dies because spoiler alert because of horse fucking.
Right.
And like that the other 2 friends who like know what happened just being idiots about it and like not knowing how to like deal with like the blood in their car and like that. And I'm just like oh, you guys are so dumb, aren't you?
Yeah. That sounds fun and weird. But that most of Fantastic Fest was like that.
Yeah, like we got to meet. I think like because I knew most of the like a lot of the podcasters who were going, and so like I got to meet. So like I met them all, and I met like cool. C. Robert Cargill and like Chris Cox from OneOfUs.net, and Brian Salisbury like from Junk Food Cinema and like that kind of thing, and a couple other people. And I think I met my friend Deirdre there, and like that kind of thing of like when you like meet people you admire, and like you don't know how it's gonna go because it could either be assholes or like.
Yeah.
Something great. And like everybody was based exactly what I expected them to be.
That's pretty cool. And
I'm just like, oh, I love talking. I love how like Brian Salisbury, who like I love and like I so sometimes talk to on occasions. Like he was so cool.
He was it's pretty fun.
We like talked about us on the bus on the way to the after party.
Yeah. I only remember us explaining about how terrible the roads in Pennsylvania are.
Oh right.
I was like, and of course, which is irrelevant if you like live in Texas, but I can assure you the roads in Pennsylvania are terrible.
Also, that after party was a lot of fun. And
that was great.
And they had that band.
Yo, that band was dope.
And they had like a train.
The train was funny. We didn't get on the train.
We didn't get on the train, no. But you got face painting.
Yeah. I did get my face painted.
I think that's like really a weird thing of like, am I on drugs? Because like this feels like a magical time.
I'm having a great time. Sometimes I didn't even drink drugs.
I don't think I thought I was gonna drink more than I did, but I think after the Nicolas Cage movie, I'm like, I can't. I like did not want to drink for a while. I did do more drinking than I normally do in my life. Yeah. But like I think. Yeah, I think like in total I had 7 drinks throughout the week, which like is a lot for me.
Yeah. I don't think I drank that much. I don't drink a lot anyway.
You had a drink at the party, and then
I did.
We didn't end up eating because they had pizza there, which I didn't end up eating. But then we did the dragon breath thing.
That was fun. I think I have that video of you doing that. Now breathe out your nose.
Nice. Did it work? Kinda. Oh yeah, because I didn't really know what it was.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I did also learn that like, hey, like you don't, because I was like trying to like look like nice and like wear nice shoes, and then I hurt my feet badly. So like, don't do that. Just like you can wear like t-shirts and
just like wear whatever. Nobody cares. Half the people there haven't showered, so it's fine.
I mean, they might have. They just like don't look like it. Well, it'd be Fantastic, like maybe not. But
yeah, it's just like all movies all the time. Some people just straight up just.
But like I will say this for like Austin, because like for a while I was like wondering like if I want to move there, and like that kind of like maybe enforce it, because like everybody was so nice, and like
it was like that I'm like Austin is not bad, like this will go on the potentials list. Because
like I guess like because I hear about like nice places, and like I was like terrified because like new people.
Yeah.
So like that was, and like we're both kind of like not great when it comes to like a new environment. So we were like freaking out, but like everybody was so like nice and like chill and inviting.
Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah. Oh, we saw that one foreign film from Laos because I met the director.
Oh yeah, that was
that
was really cool.
Deirdre Krebs, who like I met. I think I'm saying her name right. I'm sorry, Deirdre, but like I met her there, and like she knew the director because like she like Deirdre like noticed that like I was really awkward because it was our first day, and I'm just like. And she was like being really nice, and she bought me a drink. Nice. And then we met the director there, and I'm just like, oh, I have to see your movie now.
No, we have to see
that movie. Was good. I forgot the name of it.
That was The Long Walk.
The Long Walk. That was good.
It was
interesting.
That movie was too complex for me. I'm kind of an idiot, and so a lot of it went over my head. And then it wasn't until like the director Q&A after I was like, oh wait, no shit, now I understand the movie now. I was like watching. I'm like. I don't know what's going on at all right now, but I'm just gonna keep watching.
And she was kind of drunk, which was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, she was like very. It was good. It was good, but good film. But I definitely
that was a good time. So we got a lot of good. We got good food in Texas too.
That was Texas. Like okay. Rescind my comment. Austin, because I don't know about the rest of Texas. I'm not going to make assumptions about an entire state based off one city, because you can't do that. But Austin was so vegan friendly.
It was. Oh my god.
It was so vegan, which is like I'm not vegan and I'm not even vegetarian.
Yeah.
But like I tend to go that, especially like when I'm traveling. I'm weird about meat. I'm just like weird about meat, so I don't eat a lot of meat. I'll eat meat, but I don't eat a lot. So I will tend to sometimes go towards like vegetarian, vegan options, like if they're available. And like you could just easily be a vegan. Like you can't do that where we are. I feel like, especially because we don't live like in a city. But like that, it's so easy to like be vegan, and I'm like, dang, vegans, you got to go to Austin or a lot of big cities are like way more vegan and vegetarian friendly.
Well, we found a bunch of like ice cream places that had like vegan stuff because we follow the Whitman tradition of if you're on vacation, you eat ice cream.
Yeah.
And then we went to that one like brunch place, and we got food. I don't know. I remember I got, because I had still a picture of like this like tofu scramble eggs Benedict that I got that was so good. I
forget what I got, but it was good.
It was really good, and I think we ate a lot at the theater.
We did eat a lot at the theater, but that was like, it was pretty good stuff. But like, no, we really had a lot of good food there, and we didn't even get like any of that like authentic
barbecue.
Awesome barbecue. I'm not even that into barbecue.
Me neither. That's why I didn't really mind it.
Oh, awesome! Shout out to me. I scrolled back and I found our trip.
Oh,
I think this is what I had. That was really good.
Or was that at that other place we went to where you had your?
Was this the crepe place? Was this the crepe place? Or
no, the crepe. The crepe place was good too. You got like a sweet crepe though, and I got like a really.
This was not the crepe place. This was, what is this?
Wasn't that one place that we went?
Creek Cafe.
Remember we went there? We went to that one place where you had your first mimosa.
I know. Look at you. Look how cute you are. That was because I just had never had a mimosa. Mostly because I don't like. I'm not like super into orange juice, but they had like different varieties there.
It was good.
Look at how cute we are. This is look at us. We are so darn cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a good time.
I still have like my badge somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely saved mine.
That was such a good. I feel like like, obviously we're not going this year because A, got canceled, which, I mean, I think good on them for deciding that. But I think the next time I go, I'm going to plan on going for the full time.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be cool. I'm not sure. I don't think I could handle the full time.
Because, like, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But, like, if you're a super movie buff, like, it's awesome.
I think it's just, like, the thing of, like, if you go the full time, you can probably get most of the movies. Because, like, a bunch of them are repeated. Like, I know, like...
Because it's, like, in 2 halves. So, like, yeah. Yeah. You could probably see almost every movie.
Yeah. I think I was gonna... Because I'll be like, okay, now I have to watch Parasite and you have to watch Knives Out. But if you watch Knives Out, I think I need to be there with you because I told you about, like...
Yeah.
The one thing that's, like, you don't like and it's a plot point.
Yeah. So, I would appreciate that. I would like to watch it, but definitely we should watch it together so you can be like, yo, heads up. Like,
I gotta remember.
If I know it's coming, like, I'm not as freaked out. So
yeah, because I remember like watching that. I'm like, maybe it was good you didn't watch it on the first one.
Yeah, friends, watch out for each other's debilitating phobias. So like, shout out, you're a real one.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I love you. I appreciate that.
So one good thing in 2019.
The one good, yes, and now we're in 2020, which is an absolute shit show. But.
There must be like some goods.
That's what I'm trying to think. I'm like, what are the good things that have happened?
I mean, Disney Plus gave us Hamilton.
That's true. I enjoyed that.
I did too.
Thoroughly. Not to be a connoisseur of the theater, but I very much enjoyed. That was fun. That was really good, and they should do more of that. They should record more.
I feel like it might be like a smart thing to do for like theater stuff, especially like hire actors, make sure that like everybody's 100% safe. For like 2 weeks, like quarantine-wise, like chapter checked, and then perform a show, film it, and then release it.
Yeah, I think that's
and now there's like the weird thing that they're doing with Mulan because they need to make their money back.
Oh yeah, so they're like putting out for like a ton of money. Like
they're putting it out on Disney Plus, and you need to pay like $30.
Like $30, yeah, that's a lot.
Which like
it's not. It's
I don't know if that's gonna do. I don't know if that's gonna do well.
I feel like it worked for something like Trolls or for like kids movies because kids. All you need is like one movie for a kid, and if they like it, they'll watch it for like a month straight. But like something like Mulan, I feel like isn't, not that it's not for kids, it's a family movie, but it's not like fun animated cool movie.
But also with like that was like on a on-demand thing,
right?
Which like most people have. Mm-hmm. But this is like you need to have a subscription to Disney Plus and pay $30.
Yeah, and some people will do it, but will enough people do it is the question.
I don't know about Mulan. I mean,
and I don't care enough about. Not that I don't care about Mulan. Listen. Like original Mulan movie, like I love, has a very special place in my heart.
But live action remake Mulan,
which I to a level respect that it's trying to be more faithful to its source material because I think if you're doing a remake, you have to do something different. But from what I saw, like it's not enough.
Also, is it like not a musical?
It's not. No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Anyway. But yeah, so I don't know how I feel about that. So I'll wait.
I will say, if they're going to do the same thing with the Black Widow movie, I'd be willing to like split the cost with you and watch it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. We could do that.
I don't know if they're going to do that, because like they pushed that back. I think people are like freaking out, like, oh no, like they have to push back Black Widow, and I'm like, I mean, they pushed back to November, which is also like a good time for superhero movies.
Right, it's fine. It's like listen, like no holds barred. The world is crazy right now. Like everything's like ridiculous. Like nothing means anything anymore. So like whatever.
Nothing really matters. Anyone can see.
Nothing really matters. But yeah, so that was crazy. I was trying to think of good things, but I could only think of bad things. Wait, okay. Here's 2 things. Okay. Here's 2 things that happened in 2020. One good, one bad.
Okay.
One good thing, I think, isn't this year's when they announced that they are making a Percy Jackson live action series on Disney Plus.
Oh yes, they are. Is it Disney Plus? I thought it was another channel.
I think it's related to Disney because I think Disney still owns the rights to that. I think it's Disney Plus, but some streaming service will be creating a Percy Jackson live action series. I'm very excited.
And I think the author's like a part of it.
Yes, which if you ever get a chance, go read the Rick Riordan's notes about the Percy Jackson movie when he did the first script read through of like the movie that was terrible. Mm-hmm. Hilarious. He like does not hold back with his thoughts about the movie. He might be holding back, but it's the contempt is palpable and hilarious.
I just remember like not disliking that movie when I saw it because I saw it in the theater, but also because like I never read the book.
Yeah.
and it had Greek gods, and I was like really into that, but I never read the books. And then also I had a thing for Logan Lerman.
Oh yeah, well, like fair. That's fair.
He's done good stuff since.
I'll take you to see the musical sometime if we can ever go to see musicals again. The musical, I so enjoyed the music. I talk about this a lot, but I really enjoyed that musical. But so on equal and opposite too, on the joy of getting a live action Percy Jackson adaptation, we must also talk about the live action adaptation of another beloved childhood series, which is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
But did we need a live action series?
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about this. So the recent news, if you did not hear, which you probably should have heard by now, especially by the time this episode comes out, is that, so if you weren't aware, that Netflix was creating a live action version of Avatar: Last Airbender, which is like, first of all, you're like, didn't we already try this? Like, didn't we already try to do a live action? Wasn't it like not good? Wasn't it like, it was like terrible. So like, why would I get my hopes up about this? But then they're like, the original creators have signed on as executive producers and showrunners, and you're like, and they're talking about like getting out, like, with this type of series, they get more opportunities for like world building stuff and like expand on certain things. I'm like, now I am cautiously optimistic. Okay, cool. So like, I'm like, Mike and Brian, if you're on it, like, I believe in you. I believe in you. Like, I know Legend of Korra wasn't perfect, but like, I still like trust you. I do trust you. And then like comes out like very recently that Michael DiMartino, who is one of the two creators and the showrunners of Avatar, is like, Brian and I are leaving the production because it's not turning out how we want it. That sounds like really like not how I want to word that. But basically, like, the direction that Netflix is taking the series is not their intended vision, and they thought very long and hard about it, and they are deciding to exit the production. And I'm like, 2020, we can't have nice things. We can't have nice things.
I guess, like, my thinking was, one, do we need a live action? Especially now that both series are on Netflix.
Correct. Yeah.
Can't I just go back? Like, one, like, did I have, like, ideas about a live-action version in my head? Sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. I feel like this is a moment of growth for you because you're usually like, but they should make this live action when we watch animated things. So
that's true.
I'm like, this is, I feel like my heart is very warm right now because I feel like you have grown in the respecting of
I guess, like,
animation.
my thing was that, like, when I heard the original creators were a part of it, I was interested in seeing it, and I probably would have watched it. Yeah. But now the fact that they're gone, I'm like, so is the show in the can? Because, like, it probably should be.
Right. Well, yeah, right. And I don't know how much work has been done to it because I feel like that announcement came out, like, a while ago. And so I think this has been in the works for a long time. So I don't know, like, where they're at in the process of this. But it definitely made me want to, like, steer clear of this. And I don't think it has come out yet, like, officially, like, what those changes are. I think the speculation is that they wanted to make it, like, darker and edgier, which is, like, stupid.
Isn't that what
the show already had genocide in it? What more do you want? Do you want to, like, age up the characters? Do you want to make them, like, do it? Like, what is it? What is it? Like, obviously, if you watch a show, like, okay, now I'm ranting. But here we are. These are the things that make me feel emotions. But, like, if you look at a show like Avatar: Last Airbender and you think, this would be great, but it has to be, like, darker and edgier, you obviously did not understand the point of the show at all. You have missed a fundamental piece of the program here. So if that is the case, I'm going to scream into the void eternally until I just explode.
You know what I kind of wonder?
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, if those are the changes, then it might be because, like, a lot of, like, the fantasy stuff that has come out recently, at least from what I've seen, has been quite dark, a la Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Which is great, besides the point. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of wondering, like, hey, this is, like, a fantasy-esque show, and Game of Thrones stuff is gone, yes. So let's try to get something new.
That does not surprise me if they were trying to meet a market need by filling the hole that Game of Thrones left behind. That does not surprise me if that was the intention there. But picking, out of all things, Avatar: Last Airbender was not probably the thing that they should have done. And also I agree with you that it definitely absolutely did not need a live action remake. Like, absolutely did not. It's, like, very stylized, like, it works. The medium that it's told through now, is really the medium it was made for. It's how they're able to best show and do things.
Yeah, and I think when I think of like changing like animated stuff and making like live action, like I still don't mind that with like the Disney stuff, but I think like my issue with it doing with the Avatar: Last Airbender is that like you did it already and it did not go well.
Right. Like what makes you think that you're better?
Also, now the fact that like you have like I guess like it might bring up more popularity because they have both series on Netflix, so like people are gonna watch them.
Right. Yeah. And so someone on that I was scrolling through the Twitter sphere and someone brought up a point that like if you're going to remake any like iteration of like the Avatar universe into a live action, Legend of Korra actually would have been a better choice, to which I actually agree with it. Now, I don't think they should make live action adaptations. If anything, if you want to do something set in the Avatar universe, you could do live action, just make a new story. Like, I think that's something that would still
That's what I keep thinking, just make a new story.
Yes,
that's what I want.
Exactly. No, I agree. But if you had to pick between like Last Airbender or Legend of Korra actually like would have been way better suited. Especially only because like again, like my feeling about adaptations is even though I'm wrong in the eyes of the executives, is that if you're adapting something, if you're doing a remake or you're doing an adaptation, like things are going to have to change. Either if you're remaking something, then that means that you see space for something to change, and you can do something now that you either weren't able to do then, you didn't think to do then, or you're kind of righting a wrong. With like Legend of Korra, like I love it. Like I do. Like I know it has problems. Like it's flawed. I know. Like we did our whole review of it. Like go watch it. It's great. Anyway,
mainly listen because I think we don't get to the watching.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of
watching. Also, I think a bunch that's blocked. So
most of it is blocked, but you can still listen to it. And I think you should. So anyway, but like Legend of Korra, while I love it, it is flawed, but a lot of, not all of its flaws, but a good percentage of its flaws have to do with the fact that there was a lot of executive meddling in it. Like Nickelodeon like screwed that show over like so bad. And so there's like problems with like pacing because of like, I don't think they knew like what they were getting from the show, like how much they had versus what they should do. So if anything like that you could adapt to either like smooth out the pacing issues, do some of the stuff that Nickelodeon wouldn't let you do.
Not include season 2.
Yeah, right. Like change some things, but like fix those pacing and have like more opportunities for like even like more filler episodes. Like I actually wouldn't mind more filler episodes for Legend of Korra. I feel like I talked about this in our review, so I won't go into it. But anyway, if I had to pick any like incarnation, do like a live action remake, I wouldn't even animate the comics because I don't like the comic. Avatar comics, Legend of Korra comics are good. I didn't like the Promise and the Search. I wasn't really like a huge fan of those. So they're like, okay, like I could go on a whole other rant about like what I like and don't like about the comics, but I won't. But my feelings about the comics are neutral enough where like out of everything, I still wouldn't pick that to make an adaptation of, whether animated or live action. But anyway, like Legend of Korra wouldn't be a bad live action. Anyway, but I was feeling a lot about that. I want to talk about that today because, like, of course, Avatar: Last Airbender is my favorite show of all time. And it's a big inspiration for what I like in storytelling and how I tell stories. So any news regarding it, I feel a very strong way about. I guess
like my biggest thing when like I heard about like a live action series.
Yeah.
And they said they were just going to like remake the show. I'm like, can you just do what I wanted you to do? Because like, I'm like, yo, you got these 4 elements and you've got 2 series. One with a avatar who was born in the air nomads. Yes?
Yes.
And then another one who was born in the water tribe. So you still got the Fire Nation, the Earth Kingdom.
Yes.
Maybe do 2 more series based on those avatars and make them different from both Aang and Korra.
Yes.
Again, either like your theory that we made up about like the, what was it, like the
future.
The future with like, I think it was like a, what am I thinking? What's the term I'm thinking of? I want to say metal, but like.
No, still an earthbender. But
no, not like a metal bender, but like the world was like like.
Oh, it was like more like a cyberpunk kind of
cyberpunk.
Thing. Yes. Yes. So yes, I think that's a great time to plug that we did do a video about like what we think the next like. It was part of our Legend of Korra live stream, but what like our pitches for the next Avatar series should be, and you should go back and rewatch that because I did watch that recently, and I was like, that was a lot of fun when we did that.
Yeah, because
so, like you guys should go back and
like yours
watch
look
that.
Very like a cyberpunk setting.
Yeah,
and I think that makes more sense of like the Earth, if it was like an Earthbender avatar.
Yeah.
Or you could do mine, where I just said, "Hey, I want this character to be mentally insane as Azula," and like some of their friends are like not actually there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you got to figure out like, are they actually good? Are they? Because my thing is just like the avatar's supposed to be like for good, but like if you have somebody who's like not all there, what can eat? Like, are they going to do some good or bad stuff? And like they're not like immoral, like they're not fair, they're not fully like moral or good. Like they do some bad stuff,
right?
Because I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so like you guys should like watch that video if you want to hear more about it, because like,
and if you know any Avatar executives, get them to hire us.
Hey, if you guys know or some folks at a place that is making a new Avatar series that don't suck, give us a call, because we got some thoughts.
We'll be consultants, or you can just pay us each $50,000 for the idea.
Yeah. But I would like some writer credit on there, so I don't have to be like the showrunner, but like take my idea, and if I can be like in the writer's room, like that would be great. Okay. Because I like to do that kind of stuff. But yes, so yes. That is, as far as I wanted to think of things that weren't terrible in 2020, and instead I thought of something that was really terrible in 2020. Well,
you're gonna get Percy Jackson, which hopefully will be good.
Which that's probably like really long time.
Do you have any like dream casting for that, or you want like new people?
No, because if you're gonna do it the right way, you're gonna cast people who are a lot younger, because the Disney movie had cast Logan Lerman was like way older than the character.
I think it was like our age. I think it's like our age.
Yeah, right.
So right. He was like 17.
He was like late teens when that
it's supposed to be 12.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like very young, but then like of course the character like grows up during the series, and it's fun and good and stuff.
I wonder this, like, would you mind if they like upped it to like 14?
I think there's some wiggle room. I do think like you have to be very mindful of like working with children and young actors. I don't think you should deprive that age of like representation in like them being able to watch like a story like that and be like, and especially because stories like Percy Jackson, and along with Avatar: Last Airbender, because if they age them up, it would also kind of deprive them of this. There is an element of like the parts of the story are that much more severe because like they're dealing with children, right? Because like Avatar is a story set in a war-torn world, and we have to depend on the young people to fix it, which I think has which when you set them in front of the on the landscape of like all the terrible things that are going on, like is like snap. And like Percy Jackson is very similar in that you can see like really the cruelty and the apathy of some of the Greek gods, in that they have like their 12-year-old children like dying by constantly going on these missions. So so I definitely think the youth aspect is like a very strong part of those stories, which is why aging them up may divert from that. But if you find an actor who's like a couple years old, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Anyway, so I hope that made sense.
I hope that's good.
I hope
that's good. It'll be as good as the Artemis Fowl movie. Did you see that?
I did not see the Artemis Fowl movie.
I heard that wasn't good.
I like just the trailer from it. Like I knew the direction it was going in wasn't probably when I was going to be like, oh yes, I want to watch this. So I just like refrained.
He was like an asshole in the book.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In the book, he's the bad guy. Like Artemis Fowl may be the main character, but he's like a bad guy. So. But then if you like have him like, hi, it's a fun kid, he's like cool and stuff. It's like that's not what it's about. So. Yeah.
Well.
Anyway. But yes, so that's that. Adaptations. Anyway, if you want to make an adaptation, you should call me, because I have feelings about those, and I think I could help. I say with no professional script writing experience, but I have moxie.
I was gonna say, what else is there to? I was going to talk about Umbrella Academy season 1, even though I know what's happening.
Yeah, I know. I just need to watch season 2.
Watch season 2, and then the next time we do a random episode, we'll discuss it.
We'll talk about it, yeah.
Probably the next time I'm trying to think. Maybe the next time we talk, because like we're going to definitely finish it up. We're going to finish up Pushing Daisies, and like one of them's going to be a single episode, so we might have time.
Yeah.
So maybe the next time, and then you'll have time to finish the season.
Right.
I would say like luckily like the episodes are like shorter than season 1, not like by much, but like they're shorter. Okay. Which is nice. Yeah. And that's why I say like the pacing's a lot better. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is there.
Geez, what else?
I was going to think about a sad thing, and it might be a bit I don't want to say controversial because I hate using that for, like, something that shouldn't be controversial.
Right.
But, like, I mean, like, not like us saying it would be controversial, but, like, the person is controversial.
Oh, who's controversial?
I would say J.K. Rowling.
Oh, do we want to talk about that? How do we breach this topic? I think how do we want to
we can either go full force or we can take baby steps.
Okay.
So which one?
This is I feel like I've yeah. We'll start with this. Fuck TERFs, and we'll just go from there. That's really all I've got to say about that.
Well,
but that was a whole thing that happened.
And I was gonna say, like, if you're offended because you are a TERF, and we use the word TERF, which apparently they find offensive.
Well, then fuck off.
Exactly.
Like, I got no room for that kind of hate. But right, yeah, don't play the victim if you're actively, pushing out hate.
So J.K. Rowling's a TERF.
J.K. Rowling's a TERF, even though, like, yeah, it's bad.
I just thought people were mad. Like, for the longest time, I, like, knew people were mad at her, but I kind of thought it just because, like, she was, like, adding, like, stuff to make her sound more progressive to Harry Potter.
Yeah.
After the fact, and it's kind of like, but why didn't you?
Which you shouldn't do.
Why didn't you do that in text?
Yeah.
And then I was like, trying to read the Harry Potter as an Audible, which is like, but then like, because that's the thing of like, they're not going to stop until you keep giving them money. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but I gave her the money before I knew about that. Mm-hmm. So can I still read them?
Yeah, and that's the question, right? The question is, can I still interact with this like piece of media, even after I find out XYZ things, such as, J.K. Rowling is a TERF, and of course I am no authority to say yes or no on that. I don't have the qualifications to answer that. That's all a matter of personal opinion.
Yeah, I think like because like something like I learned because I was like my whole thing was like I hated like having like something that was like negative and something that I loved, which is why like I don't like our last the Rise of Skywalker review because I feel like I'm very like mean about it. In a way, I don't know if that's the right term, but I was like trying to like defend it, saying like, isn't it like not that big of a deal if like there isn't this? And like I assumed that it wasn't, and I was like really mean about it because like my thing is like, no, this has to be good or else like I'm a bad person for liking it. That's kind of always my thing,
right?
And then I talked to my therapist about it, and she was like, well, no, you're not a bad person for liking something, even though it does this. You need to acknowledge it like it's there,
right?
She was bringing up how like she like sometimes still listens to Michael Jackson, even though we know bad stuff about him, or like. Sometimes she goes to Chick-fil-A because she likes so much, but we know the bad stuff about them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a thing of like you have to acknowledge that there is like something bad about it, like a biases about it.
Yeah.
But like if it's something that like helped you through a hard time or like brought you happiness, like still enjoy it.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's good advice. Of course, like it's hard because if someone has done something that directly is harmful to another group of people and you're not in that group of people that was harmed, you're not necessarily like have the authority to say that, like, oh, yes, that's okay if you enjoy this thing. But again, if you can still, I think it's okay to say you can still enjoy that thing, or if you enjoy it, like, you don't have to necessarily write it off completely, especially if it's something that was as formative for so many people, I think, as the Harry Potter series was. But you do have to acknowledge it, and you can't have a knee-jerk reaction is like you're going to defend that person because you're afraid of not being able to enjoy it anymore. Like, the reason for defending her shouldn't be because you still want to enjoy it. Like, very different.
Yeah, I think, like, that was always my thing, but, like, I'm learning to grow from that. Yeah. So, like,
Good.
So, like, but I guess, like, my thing with, like, the movies was that, like, it was so, I never really knew who J.K. Rowling was for, like, the longest time. I just enjoyed the movie. So, for me, I could watch the movies.
Right.
Because, like, they're not there. I don't need to look.
Right.
At their faces, and but I don't like the arguments of TERFs either because they have not good arguments. I think of like
don't be okay. If you don't know what a TERF is,
trans
exclusionary radical feminist, which is, if some people say, well, you're not a feminist if you're a trans exclusionary, or like not a radical feminist if you're trans exclusionary. But the idea is that it's that subgroup of like very very self-empowered females who don't think that trans women are women and So it's like...
But do they think that trans men are men and they're mad at them too because they choose...
They think that trans men are just, like, butchy women who are in denial. It's a big yikes. It's a big yikes. Now, some people don't feel that way, but basically... it's
the worst.
Right. And I think the idea is that like, oh, like a trans woman doesn't have the same experience as me.
Yeah, that was always my thing of like, woman. And I'm like, you're right. They've got different ones.
Yeah, but they have a different experience. Like literally, your experience of living is very different than my experience of living. Yeah. Like everybody's experiences are different. Like stop making stupid circles about who belongs in which circle and which doesn't. Like it's
Can't we all just get along?
Amen. No. but anyway, so like yes, very very disappointing, especially when you like create like a whole series about like, you know, like overcoming, you know, adversity and like.
And I guess like what else helps, that seems like that the cast of Harry Potter has kind of like.
They're like, yo, Joanne, what the hell did you just say?
Like Daniel Radcliffe like put out a post that was like very good.
Yeah, yo, Daniel Radcliffe.
So that also kind of helps. Like I know the cast has like they're like nope.
Yeah. But yeah. So like. So I guess what the end story is if you still enjoy Harry Potter, that's fine. That's fine. But you have to acknowledge the problematic behaviors of its creator.
I think you have to acknowledge problematic behaviors. Sorry.
Yeah, you can't ignore that because you're afraid of not being able to enjoy it anymore. You still have to acknowledge it, but that doesn't mean you have to throw it aside completely. But if you want to throw it aside completely because you're like, I can't enjoy this anymore, so I'm going to put it aside, that's okay too. Yeah. Like you can totally do that too.
I mean, I think it's sad that like if something was so formative in your childhood and now you put it aside because you found out something bad about the author, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does suck.
And then also I think you have to like make the decision of like, am I willing to like buy something of like merchandise or like something and give this person money? I don't know how much money she gets from it, but like.
Yeah, I mean, she makes a pretty good amount of money. But, like, yeah, that's also true. It's, like, the decision, well, if you're still giving money, like, are you, like, yeah, it's, yeah.
I mean, they're going to come out with the new Fantastic Beasts
I hope they don't, because I'm just done with it. I'm done with it all.
I didn't mind the first Fantastic Beasts movie because I thought it was a fun idea of, like, hey, like, keep the Harry Potter train going and, like, just set it in the world.
Yeah, I didn't mind the concept behind Fantastic Beasts. I think its execution was entirely meh. And I will not watch the second one because I know if like what happens in it, I'm like, this is stupid. So
yeah, like, my thing was like, oh, this will be fun. And I thought it was going to be like a bunch of like single movies,
right?
Like each movie, like it's just one contained story. Maybe the characters pop back up in like other stories, but like as cameos,
right?
But like you're one and done. And then that wasn't the case because it was a series. And I'm like, can we not? Like you already have. You already have the audience, so like you don't have to build it. Like you already have, like you can make whatever, and they'll still show up. But anyway, so that was definitely a thing that happened in the train that was 2020. But yeah, do you have any other thoughts on that? Just again, like if you just have to acknowledge that something's bad. But if you like are like saying like, hey, I can acknowledge this, but like this was a big part of my life and I still want to watch and enjoy it, that's totally fine. If you can no longer enjoy this, even though it's part of your childhood, I feel that sucks that like you can no longer enjoy this, but like, you know.
That's like, yeah.
Just live your life, man.
Just like live your life and don't be trans exclusionary. Just like don't be a TERF.
Don't be a TERF.
Don't be a TERF.
And we're going to use TERF even though... Like, there's, like, some slang that, like, I won't use because, like, I agree that people find it offensive. But, like, if I think you're a bad person for thinking that,
yeah,
I don't care if I could do it.
Get hecked. But yes, so that was a thing that we had to come to terms with. Although I think that was, like, sort of already known mostly even before this year.
I guess like
it really came to, I think this is the year where she really like stood behind it and like was like put her foot down on it and we're like, is this really the direction you want to go in?
I guess like I didn't, but that's because like I just thought people were mad at her because she kept changing stuff.
Oh yeah.
In her like stories, and I'm like,
which is also like you don't have to do that. Like it's okay. Like you sometimes you just gotta let it.
Like listen, like yeah, like you weren't as inclusive as you wanted to be, and now you feel like you have to because of like publicity and like that kind of thing.
Yeah, which is super yikes.
Don't do that. Just like, hey, like I did a thing. I'll be better next time.
Yeah.
Moving on.
It's all you got. It's all you got to do. It's like you learn and you grow. So anyway, if you want YA authors who do it right, Rick Riordan, love that dude.
That's Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
He's not done anything bad yet, ever. Knock on wood.
But no, he's good.
I feel like it's like good. They're like really like quiet about like life and like they just like keep their stuff very private.
Yeah, I have to send you some of his tweets sometimes. He's had some thoughts on things. It's pretty
because like
good.
there are some like creators who like so far have like no controversy surrounding them ever.
Yeah, just keep it like that.
I can't. Alex Hirsch.
It's pretty good. Yeah, he hasn't. I don't think he had anything.
And we're watching Brian Foley stuff. I think he doesn't have anything personally.
Good.
I know like creatively he has had like arguments with like only like stuff when it comes to like his shows. And, like I think people want to take it over, but like that's reasonable.
Yeah. So. Excellent.
I think it's just like most people like I think like if you just like see them through like their work and like you don't really hear about much of their other stuff, they're pretty okay.
Yeah. Right. Some people just feel the need to say things. But I mean, it doesn't mean that if you're creative you can't express your views on things because like, you just gotta be aware of what happens.
I mean, there is the whole stuff with like Ellen might be getting canceled, but I don't know like the Foley much info.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole thing.
It's like she's kind of been like aloof and like cold, but then her staff might be racist.
Yeah. Apparently, she's just like not a great person to deal with, and also it's not a great place to work for. So, but the show still like they still play episodes on NBC. Oh yeah. That's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. That's cool. We're not getting into that one today. It's a lot.
Not today, because I don't know enough about it. And also, I guess, like, I don't know, like, I never watched Ellen that much.
Right, yeah. Same, though. But yeah, so that's that. Man. What, anything else?
It's been so long.
What else? I know, it's been so long. We haven't caught up on anything. But we covered a good amount of stuff.
We did cover a good amount of stuff. I don't know what else, like, content-wise we could talk about that we've both seen.
Yeah. Well, are you looking forward to anything that's coming out soon?
I don't know. I mean, like,
what is coming out?
The Black Widow movie I'm looking forward to.
Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be fun.
When is that coming out?
I have no idea. That keeps
Where is it? I know, because I think they want that to be in the theater.
Yeah.
And like that kind of thing. But I'll watch those with you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll watch it together.
Because nobody else in my family's gonna.
Yeah. Oh, God, I relate to that. Damn. But, yeah. Oh, man. That'll be fun when we're able to do that.
And then I think, there's the Suicide Squad that's coming out.
I'm like curious about that. When is a trailer for that going to drop?
I don't know, but I know that they finished filming. I think like most of the filming before.
The filming is I think they're like almost done editing.
Because like we reviewed Suicide Squad on a live show.
We did. That was a lot of fun.
That movie's not good.
No.
If you say the good things about it, one of them is Margot Robbie, which they luckily kept using because Birds of Prey, which was very good. Did we ever review that technically? I think we just saw it.
Yeah, we just saw it. Like that, it was just a fun movie. I really enjoyed that. I'm gonna watch it again.
Oh my god, so good. But that movie's fun, and then I really wanted like an egg sandwich afterwards. Oh yeah. Then we got fondue instead.
The fondue was really good though.
The fondue was really good.
God. I miss life sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's just like, hey, like here's a random occasion where we can just like go to the movies and then
I want to feel safe to go to a movie again.
But Birds of Prey, I think I was like rewatching because there's like this one YouTuber who like go through like CinemaSins videos and like point out that like, hey, CinemaSins is wrong about this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how people feel about CinemaSins and like I'm kind of neutral on it, I guess. But they're talking about Birds of Prey, and then the punishment was that apparently they had like this series called Dear Hollywood, and they did a video where they're talking about how like Batman v Superman and Civil War were like coming around the same time, and basically saying like Marvel, what are you doing? You're gonna get your ass kicked by Batman v Superman because it's Batman and Superman fighting each other, and like watching that you're like, because it doesn't matter. I realize it doesn't matter about like Batman and Superman fighting each other. It's the fact that one of those movies is terrible and one of them is awesome.
So true. So true. We saw that together.
We did. We saw both together.
We've been friends for a very long time. That's good.
I feel like it might be shorter. I think it might be shorter than people think. Because we're coming up on 10 years. We're at 8 years now.
We're about I would say 7. Between
years.
7 and 8.
Yeah.
Probably 7.5.
I wonder if some people think that we've known each other since we were kids, which isn't true.
It just feels like that because that's how we're like this.
We are, but we only known each other since college.
Yep, since end of freshman year.
Yeah.
Not even freshman year. So freshman year was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's end of freshman year. So I'm gonna say, but it's 7.
And look where we are now.
Look where we're on now. We didn't see each other for 5 months, and I got very, very sad.
So did I, honestly.
I was the whole week leading up to this, I was like, oh, we get to do stuff again.
I was looking forward to it, and now I'm so happy.
Yay. But now I'm tired because we've been talking all day.
That's what we do.
It's what we do. But it's just it's good to be back.
It is.
It's good to be back.
So yeah, this is coming out. By Friday, if not,
whenever it comes out.
Kay's gonna edit this, and then we're gonna start off with Pushing Daisies, which won't take us long because it got canceled too soon. But we already recorded the first 4 episodes.
Yay!
So that's coming out.
Woo!
And then whatever Cailin's next pick is, and then we'll just keep going.
I'm still undecided. I'm really. Do
you want to give a hint about a kind of show we're gonna be watching?
We're gonna be watching an anime,
which I am.
I'm undecided. Where the one that I'm thinking of, somebody actually should suggest it to us. And I was like, oh wait, that's a really fun series that I like, that I feel deserves more love. And then the other one is one that got a recent. I don't want to say. Anyway, it's an older one, but I would consider it a classic, very well known. And so I'm stuck between the two. For different reasons.
And Cailin knows me, I'm not that into anime.
No, and I'm not even sure you're gonna like it, but we're gonna watch it.
My thing is, because apparently Avatar The Last Airbender doesn't count.
Yeah. No, I don't consider it personally. I
it's
consider
good,
it anime inspired, but I don't consider it anime.
And then the only other anime thing I've ever seen is Princess Mononoke. Although technically I realize that I've seen Kiki's Delivery Service. Because I watched it when I was a kid.
Classic. Love that.
But and I think but the thing is I don't remember it at all. Mm-hmm. I just remember she was a witch and did stuff.
That's basically the whole movie.
But then I saw Princess Mononoke and I enjoyed the story, but it was kind of hard to watch just because the mouth thing was off, and I'm just it kind of That's kind of my thing with anime. But I have HBO Max, and they have all of the Studio Ghibli.
Do they?
And there was the one I really kind of want to watch because the story looks interesting. With, the girl gets turned into an old lady.
Howl's Moving Castle?
That one.
Classic. You should watch that one.
But then they also have, hold on, because I know they have another thing on here that's also anime related. Crunchyroll Collections.
Crunchyroll. Oh.
Yeah, look.
Oh, look at that. Those are some...
That's something, was there anything on here? Because I know the Death Note series. I think the Death Note series is on here.
Death Note is good. Fullmetal Alchemist. That's a friggin' classic. I love Fullmetal Alchemist. I think that's too many episodes for us to do though. I wouldn't do that first.
Yeah, because we do a lot of shorter shows. So I think my next show is gonna be over 100.
Yeah.
Because we haven't actually done that yet, but I think we have to do that eventually.
Yeah.
And kind of figure out what our format's gonna be with a show that is over.
Right.
Are we gonna split it up, or are we just gonna go full blast, and it might take us a year or two, but we'll do it.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna have to have some talks.
I think it's a thing of somebody can have the power for over a year. Although granted with Gravity Falls, you kind of had the power for a year.
I had the power for a year. Yeah. Well, that's circumstantial.
No, I think it was a year because we finished Orphan Black in December of 2018.
Each series we've done so far has taken about a year.
Firefly didn't take a year.
Firefly didn't take a year, but Legend Core took a year. Orphan Black took a year.
Did that take a year?
Gravity Falls took a year. Yep.
When did we start Orphan Black?
They all took about we all finished around the winter time between December and February is when we.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I get somebody that's the power for a year. Although I'm not gonna. Well, I mean, granted, I don't know how long. This year has been weird.
Yeah, nothing is the same anymore. So here we are. We're doing it. We're doing our best.
I think I said, because like some people were like, is anything ever going to be the same? Am I going to get salad bars back? Because I actually really miss salad bars.
Oh, yeah.
I miss like the feeling of like going to a bar and just like getting how much as you want and then being shamed because of how much you have to pay. I'd rather, and then now you have to like somebody to do it for you. I'm like, can I just like feel that? I'm like, no, let me just do this so you don't actually see what I'm getting. But anyway, I understand that it can't be that way. I'm fine with it. And like, I think somebody like my thinking is just kind of like, I think the world will be maybe like 99.9% back to normal in like 5 years.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to stick with it, because then that keeps me sane. I'm not expecting it next year to be 100% back to normal.
Not at all.
I think by next year we'll get a vaccine, which will definitely help.
Yeah.
But like...
Then it's also an election year, so that's... Anything can change.
Oh, this will be fun.
Anything can change. Oh, God. Good thing we don't talk about politics on this show.
We try not to talk about politics.
We try not to, because I'm actually a very opinionated person. But I keep that separate from this.
I don't know.
I keep that real separate from this.
I think for me it was kind of like, well, you gotta like please the general audience of like, so I wouldn't like want to say anything. I'm like, let's just please them. But now I'm kind of like, well, no, because like people like a general audience is like people who want something different,
right?
Like that kind of thing. And like you could say like, I think like the people who I would find like you need to like please them are just the loudest. They're not actually the majority,
right? So I think that how we can sum this up is that we will not make specific political candidate or party endorsements, but we will say fuck TERFs.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. Anyway, so anything else before we close out? How long have we been going for?
Like an hour and 20.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I was gonna make a joke about we do endorse this person for president as like and make a joke person, but I can't think of a reference.
Stan Pines 2020.
Stan Pines 2020. I don't know, that's a good idea.
Probably not. Mayor Tyler Cute Biker.
There you go.
There we go. Get him.
Get him?
Get him.
All right, do you want to do the outro? Because I did it all day.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do the outro. Thank you for joining us today. It's so good to be back. Like, it's so good.
We're back.
We have a better prepared. Well, thank you for coming back. That's on the beginning of this.
Oh yeah, we're gonna say thank you guys because like
yes, and
we kept going up in subscribers.
Yeah, so thank you for everyone who has been watching. Thank you for everyone who jumped on recently while they were quarantining. We are so excited to be. Yes, hello. Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
That wasn't weird at all.
Oh, but we are so excited to be back. We are doing our best to be safe. We hope that you are being safe as well. Of course, we are WittyClothes Productions. You can find us on a variety of social media. We are on Facebook.com at WittyClothes Productions. We are on Twitter. Follow us at WittyClothes. Of course, you are listening and watching us on YouTube. I say, of course, we're watching on YouTube. I don't. Do I put random episodes on iTunes? I don't know. But we're on iTunes. We're on YouTube. Find us. We're WittyClothes.
We're also on Spotify now.
We are on Spotify now. What the heck? That's pretty cool. I keep forgetting about that because I don't use Spotify. But you can find us there. It's cool. Like, take us on the go. Like, you can, like, drive and then listen. But don't watch because that's distracted driving. That's, like, illegal. You could kill somebody. You idiot. Just kidding. I love you. And so, yes, you can subscribe to us on the Patreons. You can give us money there. We are WittyClothes on there.
Please and thank you.
You can send us an email, wittyclothes@gmail.com. Just leave us a comment. We just loved hearing from you guys. We have missed you so much. We have missed you just as much as we have missed each other, which is, I can tell you, a lot. And it is just really, it's just really good to be back. But stay tuned. Our new series, First Reaction, Fan Reaction to Pushing Daisies is coming out soon. And we're really excited to show it to you. And I hope you will join us. Until next time, I am Cailin Clothier.
I'm Dara Whitman.
Peace.